when people are coming into this program, I tell them that we do three main things. All right. And so a lot of you guys have probably had the same conversation with me. And essentially what I tell them is I say, we will help you set up, if you're not already doing preventative maintenance, like we'll help you understand what that is and how to, navigate the waters of it, give you all the documents, the SOPs and everything you need to be able to go out and sell that confidently, how to price it, what's included, all of the things. Right. And then once that's set up, it's like, it's literally going to do nobody any good to be able to go out and sell preventative, or to have a preventative maintenance program, but not have like a strategy to go out and take it to the market or to actually like sell and close deals. So after, everyone, some people come in and they're like already running and gunning and they just need help with marketing, or they just need help with sales, or they just need help with the preventative maintenance. But the overarching idea is that we get that preventative maintenance program together and you guys really like understand it to the bones. And then we work on like, how are we going to get this in front of people? And so what I would say is like, if your business is not, if we're not closing enough deals, it's likely because we're not advertising enough, or we're not marketing enough, or like we're not letting enough people know that we exist or the services we offer exist. So we have to figure out through a multitude of vehicles, like whatever makes the most sense for you guys, whether it's making cold calls or sending emails, or like Jared said, he's doing the digital door knocking. You can do real life door knocking, like canvassing. And it's like, we just have to pick one of those things or multitude of those things and figure out how we want to approach that. We want to figure out a way that we can go to market, right? And that's usually through having somebody in the office, whether it's an administrative person or somebody that's a part of the sales team that's going to lead the charge on doing those actual daily actions of outreach that need to happen, right? And then outside of what we do, there's other things you can do to accelerate it, right? There's direct mail campaigns, there's paid advertising through Google, through Facebook, through all these, multitude of channels. But the idea is that like, in order to get the outcomes on the sales side of things, like in order to get the leads, in order to be able to put the proposals out, in order to get the sales, we've got to do those daily actions that allow us to have those opportunities. Cool. So at this point, we've talked about like, we have service and maintenance set up. We've got, we have the idea around having to get our stuff in front of people to let them know we even exist, let them know our services exist. But the most valuable piece to all of this is the actual sales process. So like, when we generate those opportunities, so whether, again, if it's coming from canvassing or digital door knocking or any of the other 50, things I listed out, it's like, we need to approach that in a very strategic way, in a choreographed way, to where we can run it through like, where we can run it through like a well-oiled machine. And so earlier this morning, I'm on the road today because I had to go meet some guys from corporate GAF. I was explaining this to them, and there was a guy that basically said, he's like, man, it sounds really familiar to like the automotive industry. So like, if you guys think about it, like, if you were to take your truck and take it to a mechanic today, more than likely, because something was wrong with it, like more than likely you're going to pull it into the garage, or they're going to pull it into the garage. They're going to hook it up to a diagnostic. They're going to go through everything bumper to bumper, and they're going to tell you exactly what's wrong. But when they tell you what's wrong, they also tell you that like, oh, your taillight bulb's getting ready to go out, or you need more like, washer fluid. And hey, we could also top up this. Hey, by the way, when's the last time you had your transmission fluid flushed, right? And they start adding all these other things on for like preventative measures. And so like, I think about roofing in the same way, right? So when you said this, I'm like, oh yeah, it is the same thing. But like, when we have our guys do the inspection, there's some of you guys that do insurance work, there's some of you guys that don't. So those of you guys that don't, take this with a grain of salt. But like, the first thing I would have my guys look at when they're on the roof is like, is there an insurance claim here? Like, is there wind created openings? Is there, hail damage? Is there bullet holes in the roof? Is there anything that was like sudden and incidental that we could chalk these deficiencies or, chalk these issues up to that we might be able to push through insurance, right? And so that's the first thing we look at to kind of get that out of the way if that's not the case. So if you don't do insurance, no big deal, like just disregard that first part. But then what we do, if we know that there's no insurance claim, what our sales reps need to be doing is essentially performing an inspection that's going to allow them to look at, everything from end to end, just like that car mechanic would do bumper to bumper. We need to look at that roof from one end to the other end. We need to document all the deficiencies, and then we need to apply a grade to it. And so I'm going to share my screen really quick one more time, because there's some of you guys that haven't actually seen this yet. It might be a good reminder for some of you other guys. But when our sales reps are on the roof and they've looked at all their deficiencies, the whole idea is that we can categorize that roof into one of these 5 categories: A, B, C, D, or F. And by no means is this scientific. Like, there's a good chance that like, if Jared's on, walking a roof, like he might call it a B, I might call it a borderline C. And like, it may not be a perfect science, but it allows us to not be totally subjective, to where like, we can at least get the the building owner or decision maker to understand that like, hey, if this is the life cycle of a roof, this is the general vicinity of like where your roof is. Okay. And it allows you to kind of like paint a picture for them. But more importantly, outside, well, I don't know if it's more importantly, but coinciding with that, not only does it let the building owner, decision maker, property manager, whoever the heck it is that you guys are dealing with, understand where the roof is at, but it also allows your sales rep to figure out what monetization channel makes the most sense for where this roof is. And so you can see here at the top, we've already kind of categorized it for you guys, but the way I think through this is like, if I would call this roof an A through a C, you know, an A, a B, or a C, then I would say like, more than likely what I'm going to do is look for as many repairs as possible so that we can take care of the deferred maintenance so that we can, you know, get that roof to a maintainable condition. And then we're going to try to sell them into an ongoing maintenance agreement. And so there's a lot of stories that we can tell in order to push that sale through. We can tell, you know, the stories about, hey, you know, even when you buy a brand new, like I've had a lot of pushback here lately from roofers that say like, well, we give a lifetime warranty, so how could we go back and try to charge them for maintenance? And I just say, you know, it's point blank, just like your car. Like even if, for instance, I bought a brand new truck for my wife in November, December of this past year. And we bought the multiple $1,000 bumper to bumper warranty. But like that bumper to bumper warranty is not paying for the oil change that she got last week. It's not paying for the wiper blades that we had to put on our way back from California. It's not paying for the tires, you know, the new tires that it needs. And so the roof, you know, that's, you can tell stories like that too. Then people are like, oh, yeah, okay, all right. So now I can differentiate between a warranty and, you know, a warranty and a preventative maintenance, you know, program. So A, B, or C, we're trying to sell them into an ongoing maintenance agreement. In order to sell them into that ongoing maintenance agreement, again, the roof has to be in a maintainable condition. In order to get it to that maintainable condition, a lot of times we're having to charge, you know, a repair fee separate from what we'll charge them for maintenance. So it may be that you know, just to be clear with you guys, it may be that you inspect the roof. We realize, okay, there's, you know, $5,000 in repairs that need to be done here, like urgent repairs. There's holes or, you know, coping, you know, has became unfastened or whatever. And so we would charge that $5,000 to take care of whatever it is, plus whatever it's going to be for the maintenance agreement. Okay. So if the maintenance agreement is going to be $1,500 a year, it's like, cool, they've got to pay the $5,000 plus the $1,500 to get started on the maintenance agreement. One more thing. So if it's an A, a B, or a C, and we decide that we are going to quote them for a maintenance agreement, is there anyone here that has not utilized the maintenance calculator, or at least know where to find it and know how to access it?
Yeah, I haven't used that. More familiar with it. So where would I find that tool?
Yeah, absolutely. So let me show you. It's actually being rebuilt, but it's no big deal. You can use the old one that's in here now. The numbers aren't going to change. We're just changing the interface of it. Yeah. So like the design of it. So this one will still work. So if you go here to the university, right? You go over here to classroom, click into the main contact to contract. If you go down to estimate, like the estimate section, yeah, there's a estimate right here, estimating low slope maintenance agreements. And so this would be for flat roofs. And you can click this link right here and it'll take you right to our maintenance calculator. It'll just pop up just like that. Okay. And
hey,
then,
Cody.
Yeah, absolutely. Who said that?
Hey, Jared. Hey, I was just going to ask you, you said you're changing the interface. Are y'all adding the steep slope stuff to that calculator?
Yeah, that's the idea. Exactly. We're trying to put it all in one place.
Cool. That's what I was wanting to, that would be great. Yeah. Love it.
Yep. So right now this maintenance calculator is only set up for like flat roofs and or low slope roofs. And Jared kind of spoiled it for all you guys, but we're trying to put it all into one place rather than having like these separate tables and then like this separate maintenance calculator. I've had guys that like, or guys and girls basically in this program that have came in and said like, we don't really understand how to price. Like we see the pricing tables over here, but we don't understand how to do the low slope. So like I said, just trying to make it a little less confusing for everybody. And nonetheless, you've got everything you need now, but we're going to make it better in the next few days, hopefully by Monday. But I was going to say, if anyone needs training on this maintenance calculator, like obviously I have a video in here, and I think I don't think it was me that actually made this video. It was, let's see here. It was, okay. Yeah. So it was Brian that made this video that's in here now. So if you guys need additional training on it, don't be afraid to ask, or, you know, if you need the help, just, you know, let me know.
Hey, can you go over, when I'm like selling the maintenance program, what do they get for the maintenance program versus what's going to be a big repair?
Yeah. So it really, I hate to say it depends, but it definitely depends. But what I've done, Mike, is if you go in here, and this just happened in like the last week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, but if you come in here to the classroom for contact to contract, and you go down here to the maintenance programs, like if you click on commercial low slope and you open up the document, we have specific, perfect. So like there's this part that says what's included for all roofs. But then if you keep going down here, like after we talk about what's included for all roofs, we say like what's included for specifically for a modified roof. what is included specifically for a single ply roof. And that might be it. Yeah, that might be it for low slope. But on a steep slope, it's totally different. So if whenever the time comes, or if you're trying to sell a maintenance agreement to an apartment complex or a bank or something that does have a sloped roof, just make sure that you jump in here and you're looking to see what's actually included for, asphalt shingles or, different types of metal roofing and things of that sort. Cool.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. And so just to finish my thought overall here with the chart is like, so if it's an A, a B, or a C, the whole idea is that the guys are going to sell the repairs and then they're going to sell them into an ongoing maintenance agreement. It is of my opinion that even if I can't get somebody sold on the maintenance agreement, or there's a lot of times where they don't have the authority to actually approve, paying, making a purchase outside of like maybe they might have maybe they can pay for the repair, but they can't pay for something that's ongoing. It's very common with like property managers or especially on-site managers. I would still try to get them on some sort of what we call a roof audit program. And so I'm always hesitant about sharing this with people because I don't want you guys to use it as a crutch to not sell the ongoing preventative maintenance, because most people, especially if you're dealing with like a building owner or a facilities manager that's there on site, like outside of multifamily apartments and stuff like that, you can sell them on ongoing maintenance and it's no big deal. They're expecting it. They want it. They need it. Like you can show them how it makes sense for them financially. But if you can't, like in Jared's situation, he's dealing with pretty much, I'd say, just based on our conversation, 70 to 80% of the people he's dealing with right now are property managers that are giving him this service work and giving him these repairs. They're not going to sign an ongoing maintenance agreement. They're very reactive rather than proactive. So in those scenarios, I would try to get them on a recurring audit where it's like, hey, look, no big deal. Like I understand you guys, you're not interested in the as long as they tell you they're not interested in the ongoing maintenance or preventative maintenance, we will still come out here on a yearly basis, on an annual basis, and inspect this roof for you. Now we're not going to do any of the maintenance. Obviously, we're not going to come out here and caulk things up, reseal shingles, do whatever, clean out the gutters, whatever needs to be done. But we will come out here and look at this roof on an annual basis and give you a survey of what needs to be done. We call them roof audits. I think there's another guy that I had in for a training last week that was calling them, Jared, what was Kevin calling them? He calls them not roof audits, but something different. Do you remember what that was?
I don't know. Not
it was
no,
something like that. It's same thing. Like I think we're talking about the same thing, but basically whatever you want to call it, a roof audit, current condition report. Man, it's driving me nuts that I can't think of it. But nonetheless, that's the idea around repairs and maintenance. And then so what a lot of roofs you guys are going to get on are going to be categorized as D's or F's, right? There's probably a reason you're on there. It's because like in the hunting process, in the canvassing process, I really talk a lot about, hunting for ugly roofs. And it's easy to hunt for ugly flat roofs because you can get on, we've got things like Google Earth, we've got, Google Maps, we've got the, Maps app on our phone, whatever the case might be. But if we're hunting for ugly roofs, there's a good chance that we're going to get on a lot of roofs that are D's or categorized as F's, right? And my partner, if you guys haven't met him yet, he always says like, if you get on an F roof, the F stands for exactly what you think it does. And so if it's a D, that's like that weird spot where it's like the roof's in really rough shape, but it could probably, be taken care of with a coating or putting a new cap sheet on, or, cutting the old membrane out and let's put a new TPO, 60 mil down over top or something of that sort. So that would be like the restore version. And then like once it's restored, of course, all roads lead to ongoing maintenance or preventative maintenance. So it's like after it's restored, it's like, hey, this restoration, it's coming with a 10-year warranty, but let's try and stretch that thing out to like 15, 16 years for you. And the way we can do that is through ongoing maintenance, right? You or all of you guys and myself included know that like, if you work in a storm environment, within that 10 years, it's going to get hit by a storm anyway. So you just want to be that roofer that's already coming out, taking care of their maintenance. They're already, creating that relationship, building that relationship, and you want to be there to take advantage of it if that roof does end up getting replaced, prior to the 10, 15 years after that restoration. And then a re-roof is pretty straightforward. If we've got to quote it for a re-roof, it's basically inclusive of like a tear off down to the deck because maybe the insulation's wet or, maybe there's too many layers built up on the roof at this point or whatever the case might be. For whatever reason needs replaced, and then we'd go through that process. So I know I spent 30, 35 minutes kind of going through this with you guys and trying to paint this picture of like this whole model, but does it all click for you guys? Does it make sense how I've kind of laid it all out of like getting the service department together, getting the infrastructure of the maintenance set up, getting the opportunities, and then pushing the sales through where we have something to sell to everybody, no matter what condition the roof's in?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
I can see.
Yeah, now all we need is somebody to come here to our office and implement all this shit. You got one?
Yeah, I'll be on a plane tomorrow.